Are you dating a Japanese? Are you working towards having a permanent residence permit in Japan? Can you marry a Japanese? Would you love to be a permanent resident? Do Japanese girls like black men? Is it a popular thing in Japan? Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. No, at this point I take it back. Welcome back to our channel, because guys, fam, at this point and at this rate, it is our channel. I put up a question box I think exactly 1 week ago on my community tab and on YouTube here, asking you guys to like ask me any question about life as a black girl or as a foreigner in Japan, because I noticed that in most of my videos I got questions. I usually get questions like that here and there, and to be honest, this is my very first ask me anything tag and stuff like that, so I did not really expect you guys to come through for me, but fam, you guys came through for me. Like honestly, I'm actually very excited. Subsequently though, I'll try and alternate these between my YouTube platform and my Instagram story. So please guys, if you're not following me on Instagram, kindly do so now. I always have my socials in the description box of all my videos, but I'll still put it up somewhere here for the purpose of today's video. So today I'm going to be answering all the questions you guys have thrown at me about life as a black girl in Japan, life being black in Japan, as honest as possible. I'll put it out there first. I am one person in a pool, so my opinion is not speaking for every black person in Japan, right? This is like a subtle disclaimer. My opinion is not speaking for everybody here in Japan. This is based on my own experience. I don't know if you can see, I'm not sure you can see, but these are all the questions we got. Like, I mean, we are still scrolling, and I don't even want it to look like if people put me to do interview. So I have with me a drink. I'd rather have it look like we are on a date, me, you, everybody watching. So in case you're just seeing me for the first time, I'm sorry, I've been blabbing. My name is Chioma, aka Chilo. I'm a Nigerian currently living and studying in Japan. And on my channel, I just vlog about my life as a foreign student or a black girl in Japan. I also talk about things I'm passionate about, like education, study abroad, and stuff like that, right? To my returning subscribers, trust me, you are the best. You're the reason why I always show up here every Saturday, even when some weeks I feel like you're the reason. To my new subscribers or those who are just seeing me for the first time, I love you guys. Like, I'm actually excited, if you can tell. So let's get right into today's video. Okay, the first question. Another thing is, guys, I don't know, tell me in the comment section if subsequently you would love for me to be calling the names of the people who asked me the question. So for today's video, I won't call names. The first question here says, what was the most shocking thing about Japan that still gets you fired up every time? I think for me, it's something that most of you have probably already noticed in most of the videos I did, like my hair, makeup, and stuff like that. It is their never back down spirit. Now, the average Japanese person, or the typical Japanese person, once the person tells you yes or gives you the person words as regards anything, the best believe the person is not going to back down. The person will put all the effort possible before like saying, okay, I cannot do this. It still shocks me till date. Now, most of the videos I have shot, maybe videos like makeup and stuff, the only challenge I have ever faced or ever had is the camera. But for every shop I ever stepped into, they are excited to try something new. They are always like, okay, yes, I want to try. And it's just maybe sometimes when you don't tell them, okay, can I video, can I film it, I have a YouTube channel, that's now when the person will now be like, but the typical Japanese person, once the person sees a challenge, the person is excited and pumped up. So it kind of made me, I used to be someone that before, like, I'm an overthinker. Before I even start something, I will think it through. I'm like, can I not? Is it possible? Is it not? I don't know. But living here for almost 3 years now has kind of made me to see challenges as something interesting, and take up challenges, never back down when I give my word. So the next question says, how do you manage with the language? Can someone who doesn't speak or understand Japanese survive happily there? The happily in this question is actually in caps lock, so I get the reason. Like, that's actually the main point. Now, to be honest with you, my Japanese level, let's go into this question first, because I'm on this table. Okay, to be very honest with you guys, I am actually very terrible. It's not something I'm proud of, because I've lived here for almost 3 years. My Japanese level is survival Japanese. That's what I call it. I feel like for you to happily exist in anywhere, whether it is your home country or a country that has a language, it starts from within. Like, you just have to make up your mind. I told someone recently that Japan is what you make of it. Now, the honest truth is, when I first came to Japan, because of the whole why Japan, this, that, people always say whenever you say you have gotten a scholarship or you're going to Japan. My first year in Japan, I really did not enjoy it per se, because I was all up in my head. Why Japan? This one. But the minute you start making it an intentional act, okay, I'm going to enjoy this place. You make friends, you hang out. Now, the thing with average of the Japanese people is, if you make an effort, they are definitely going to meet you halfway. Don't just sit down and say, I cannot speak, so I'm not even going to talk in the lab, I'm not even going to talk in school. See, I don't speak good Japanese, but I talk the loudest. I laugh the loudest, I talk the loudest, I smile the hardest in the lab. So make the effort. Closest friends I have had in Japan are people that don't speak good English, and I don't speak good Japanese. But what happens is that we just kind of find a way to meet ourselves in the middle. Hi, do you have things you value now that you didn't value before living in Japan? Things you may have thought were silly or not useful to you, but Japan has changed your mind. Hopefully that makes sense, and thank you for the entertaining videos. Thank you too for watching my videos. I think I would say I value my company more. I used to be like, I'm a people's person. I'm that person that any gathering I go into, right, I'm a people's person. I'm an ambivert, if that makes any sense. I can be very introverted in some scenarios, and I can be very extroverted. But now living in Japan is very, very quiet. I've said this over and over again in most of my videos. I have learned to really enjoy my company. If you call me up for very frivolous meetings or things I feel like are not really necessary, and probably it's my rest day, or it's a day that I've already made up my mind, best believe that my answer will just be I may not say the no like outrightly. So I have actually learned to enjoy my company. This person says, do you think it's different being a black African person versus being a black Westerner, as in American or something? Yes. Yes, it's different. Now, why do I say it's different? I have noticed that once people see me for the first time, like, it just even happened. I went to buy something and 2 people saw me and they were like, American genders, you're American. Once people see you as black person in Japan, one of the first assumptions they make is that you are American. So yes, I believe there should be a difference. I don't know what it is. Now, I have not been in a scenario or a setting where I am there being a black African, like being an African, and there's a black American or an American in the room, and then there's a Japanese, so I'll now try to see, are they treating me any differently or not? But yes, there is a difference, because they are always very quick to assume, are you American? And stuff like that. And then you're like, oh no, I'm not American, I'm actually Nigerian, I'm actually African. Yeah, so I think there's and Japanese people really, really love America as a country. So the next question is, how do you cope with lectures? Are your classes taken in Japanese language or English? Based on your experience, would you recommend Japan for studies? Okay, yes, I've actually answered this question a whole lot of times in most of my videos. I am actually being taught in English, and what I would just say, if you're looking to study in Japan, look out for in whichever school you're looking out for, look out for the international programs that has been set up for international students, foreign students from all over the world. So most times the mode of communication or mode of language is usually English. Now, would I recommend Japan for studies? Absolutely yes, but like I said, don't gamble don't gamble on if you know you don't speak with Japanese, don't gamble by going to a school that they've already told you play that it's only Japanese they are going to use for as their mode of. So don't gamble it. Also, it depends on the course you're studying, so just do your research though. Now somebody said, next question says, what's the level of racism there? To be very honest with you, this is not because there's a camera in front of me. I personally have not experienced racism before. I have watched videos of other people, black YouTubers, or I've heard of other people who have said stuff like this, but personally, I have never experienced racism before. What I always say is I've rather experienced or seen people who are very curious like about you, because maybe this is the first time they are seeing a black person before, like genuine curiosity, not racism. So I haven't. What's your favorite Japanese food? Maybe you can make your favorite Japanese food for a YouTube video. Oh, this is so nice. Thank you for the video suggestion. My favorite Japanese food, I am not adventurous when it comes to food, guys. But my favorite Japanese food is curry. I think it's called curry. Curry, like curry. It's like eating rice and sauce or rice and stew. So yeah, it's curry and it's very quick to make. They usually sell the curry sachet. You just put it in maybe meat stock and that's also, yeah, curry. How long have you lived there for? When you travel away from Japan now, is walking around different? Like in what countries would you be stared at the most or asked if people can touch your hair? Basically, do I want to know if after a few years you feel more comfortable in Japan or elsewhere instead? This goes for basic stares, but down to respectful conversations with strangers to a comparison. Okay, I've been in Japan. How long first? I've been in Japan for almost 3 years now. When I traveled, okay, I traveled to somewhere in Europe. I'm not going to call the name of any country now. And to be honest with you, Europe is a place that I feel like, in short, in my stay in that city, at least I saw more than how many blacks. Like in every day I went out, I saw black. But to be very honest with you, I got more stares in a country or in a city where there are more blacks. I got more stares than in Japan. Japanese people, the average Japanese person, don't have a staring culture. They don't even stare. They don't look at you. Like you're doing your thing, they are doing their thing. They hardly stare at someone, and it's something I really like about them. They hardly stare. As for respectful conversations, Japanese people are one of the most respectful people, especially when it comes to your differences. They will respectfully want to ask questions and cure curiosity. First off, I watched your videos and I fell in love with your growth and genuinity, so thank you so much. What is something you love about living in Japan? The serenity, the security. Japan is one of the safest countries in the world. I've said this in one of my videos. I feel very safe in Japan. Like I can actually go out by 2 a.m. I'm not saying you should try this at home. I'm just talking about me. I can actually go out by 2 a.m. and I don't feel scared. I go out to buy bread. I can wake up and say, let me go and buy a drink. And I just go and come back, right? And then Japan is very, very quiet. Even on weekends that you expect so much bubble, and Japan is very quiet. Do you feel safe as a black woman in Japan? Do you feel comfortable walking the streets alone? I think this is kind of related to what I answered. Yes, I feel really, really safe. Have you had more negative than positive experiences, or vice versa, due to your skin color while living in Japan? I have actually had more positive experiences. I've had people, my skin color has helped me make more friends or make friendship faster. I go to a gathering and I'm just smiling, and Japanese people are not very expressive, right? But when you meet the person, you're like, hello, and the person just like, hello, how are you, where are you from? So yeah, I've definitely had more positive experiences than negative experiences here. The next question says, what do you do in Japan? Are you planning to attend the Olympics? Okay, I think I always say this in my introduction, but I know I've been slacking in my introduction. I'm actually a student, guys. I'm actually currently doing my PhD program. Someone says, this question says, are you working towards having a permanent residence permit in Japan? Whew. To be honest with you, I still, I've not even gotten to 1 year of my PhD. Like, I still have years of studying. But I mean, never say never, right? Do you see yourself living in Japan for the rest of your life? Do you make Japanese friends easily? I'll answer the Japanese friends more first. Yes, I make Japanese friends easily. My lab mates are, when, let me tell you something that usually happens when a new person comes to the lab. My You guys, have you watched that video of makeup swap Tabby? Tabby is always telling me, Chioma, there's a new person in the lab. Like, more like, do your thing. So yes, I make Japanese friends really easily. It's not that difficult. Being that they are not expressive, it's easy to make them friends. Just go to them like, hello, my name is Chioma. Like, do you see yourself living in Japan for the rest of your life? Ha, rest of my life is like how many years in front? I cannot know the future. Like, this person says, are there jobs for black people in Japan? Now, whatever is affecting the general foreigner, the foreigners generally, I feel affects plus the black person. So if there are jobs for foreigners, then there are jobs for black people, because I mean, we are foreigners. If there are no jobs for foreigners, then there are no jobs for black people. You get what I'm saying? What is the most positive experience that happened to you in Japan? Oh my God, you even want me to cry. I don't think something else is going to top this, to be very honest with you. If anything tops it, I'm going to come back here and tell you guys. So it's related to my professor, right? So sometime in 2019, I fell really ill and diagnoses were not even coming through. So I was out of school, not out of school, like I just had to stop going to school and lab for I think like a month. And my professor was really worried, right? So one of those days, because my family members, loved ones, everybody got so worried. So he now made me, I was like, you know what, I'll go to school so people stop getting worried. And then I went to school this day. This was after like a month, right? You will expect that it's your peers, like it's your age mates that will be the first to notice that you're not fully well. Everybody, some men, they were like, oh, Osashiburi, it's been a while. And I'm like, yeah. But I was really not yet fine. And my professor saw me, and then he's like, Choma, what are you doing in school? And I'm like, I'm fine. And then he's like, you're not fine. And then I was like, okay, I'm having, because I was actually having, I was getting better, but headaches, I was having like constant headaches. And then you would expect that that conversation just ended there, because it was very early in the day. And my professor is usually the last person to leave school every day. He's always in school. So you will expect that it's a conversation that he will forget before he goes home. But no, he went home. He still had this conversation with his wife. He was so worried. The next day, he comes and meets me at my table, and he's like, Choma, I'm sorry, but please, can my wife take you to a head spa? That was the first time I went to like a very, very intense head spa, that she's worried, that she feels like head spa will help the headaches you're having. Guys, there and then I wanted to cry. I'm just like, how can someone be so nice? I was so happy and impressed. Bills on them, oh, bills on them. Another time I was quarantining because a close friend of mine had a COVID scare. So I was at home and she was so bothered. I knew my professor's wife, and that was Easter. I'm a Christian, so it's something that is really like, it's a vibe in Nigeria. And she calls me that she wants to come and drop food by my doorstep. Guys, how else can you describe kindness? That's one of the that's one of the best things I have experienced in Japan. The next question is, what is the standard religion in Japan? No one. Is it that thing people used to say Buddhism, Shintoism? It's not true. Especially amongst the youth, that's the young adults. I have asked, at least let me say I've asked like 10 of my friends or my lab members, and they'll tell you no one. No. Rather, they see all those things as tradition or culture, not really religion. So I can't say there is a standard religion in Japan. Was it hard to adapt to their society? Experience any obstacles as a black person? Are you treated any different from your peers? I don't want this video to get too long. Was it hard to adapt? Initially, yes, and that was because I was in my head. But when I let myself out, it wasn't. It just wasn't. Are you treated any different from your peers? No, I'm not. Especially in school, I'm not. The experiment I do is the experiment every other person is doing. Like, I'm not. How was student life in Japan? Did you feel like the teachers treated you any differently? I was blessed to have studied abroad in Japan and Korea. And for me, I didn't feel any different in Japan. However, in Korea, I was singled out quite a bit. I'm curious to know what your experience was like as well in Japan. My student life, I don't think it's in past tense yet. How was my student life is beautiful, and I'm not treated any differently. I think it's related to the other question. I'm not treated, so the same experience you had in Japan is the same experience I'm having, and I'm so glad there's someone here that is actually also like concurring or like in affirmation to what I'm saying here. So yeah, what are the differences you've experienced between their educational system to ours as a science student? Japan is very, very practical oriented. Woo! No, now, like, uh, you're going to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat that experiment till you get till you get a very good data. Have you had any racism experience before? Also, was language a barrier to you? I've personally not had any racism experience. I've answered this before. And language, of course, there are one or two instances where it feels uncomfortable not to understand the language because I still don't. But a barrier, when you talk about barrier, it means it stopped me from something or it prevented something. I don't think so. But yes, I've had some uncomfortable instances where I'm just like, oh, I wish I could speak this language. You look gorgeous, Chilo. Thank you. How do you find getting products for your natural hair? Are type 4 hair products available over there? It's not common, that's the truth. It's not really common. How I get my products, online, AliExpress, and then recently I think I've said in my video, I found this Nigerian woman in Saitama, how do you call it, Saitama, who sells our kind of product. So I even bought hair cream from her, hair gel and stuff. But before I found her this year, I buy on AliExpress, Amazon. That's where I buy most of the product. Can you marry a Japanese? Would you love to be a permanent resident? Do you have plans on going full-time into research? Can I marry a Japanese? Never say never. I don't know. To be honest, I'm very indifferent about this. Not for anything. I'm just very indifferent about this question. I have plans on going full-time into research. With the way my experiment has been doing somehow since this month, I don't know, honestly. I don't know. Have you been or taken part in any of the Japanese culture or history celebration? Yes, I have. I think if I can't find a picture, I'll attach it on the screen. I don't even know if it's traditional, but yes, I have actually like experienced one or two. I mean, before COVID days, I have. How do people who have never seen or met a black person react to you? First, they don't stare. Secondly, they are not expressive. But when you engage the person and then you now make the person your friend, the person is so curious. They're always so curious, and they're very, very respectful. So you have them asking you things like, may I ask a question? This is the clothing shopping situation there. Are you finding stuff you like? How's the sizing and styles? When it comes to sizing, because this is what I want to say now. Nigerian standard and petite. Like when it comes to the average Nigerian, I'm a petite size, right? So to be honest with you, I kind of fit in a bit. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I can see my kind of stuffs here a bit because a typical or average Japanese person is quite on the small side too. The style on a normal day, Choma aka Chilo is not a stylish person. My fashion style is lazy, like look good, slay, but I'm lazy about it too. So I mean, I also don't have a problem with their style. Is the food as good as I think it is? It depends on your taste board though. It depends on your taste board. I'm not very adventurous with food. They don't eat spicy food. Japanese people are one of the healthiest people. So their meals may taste initially blank to you, but with time, when your taste bud starts adjusting, they have colorful food, like they are balanced, very healthy, very colorful. If you're naturally an adventurous person, when it comes to food, you will definitely like it. Is it difficult finding clothes that fit? Also, do you have any tips for someone that wants to travel? Finding clothes that fit, I already answered it. Yes, the only tip I will have, give you your mindset. Leave all that thing of why Japan, how Japan, this one, just keep it. Come very open-minded. Sorry I'm late to the question. When someone but my question is, you're not late, first of all. Please, you're not late. Thank you for sending me your question. And what do you do when someone shames you for being black? By the way, I'm a huge fan. Thank you, thank you. Shame me for being black. To be honest with you, I think I've gotten more shame online because I started YouTube than offline in real life. And when I get stuff like that, it's either I just ignore you because some people are just looking for the attention, or I engage your ignorance. Like physically face to face, I've really not experienced it to know how I would react if it happens like face to face. Thank you. Have you ever been to South Africa? No. Or any other African countries? No. I'm so sorry. I feel so ashamed about this. What are your thoughts on that? What are the Japanese thoughts on that? I asked as a South African. I think Japanese people actually are excited about South Africa. Recently, I was asking my lab members, countries they would like to visit in Africa. Some of they did not even look at my face. They were not even telling me Nigeria to like give me Okun Kasiobi. These guys. Rather, a lot of them were saying Egypt, South Africa. Those are the countries they were calling Morocco. Yeah. So yeah, I think they're actually a fan of South Africa. What about foreigners workers? Is it difficult to find a job? No discrimination. I haven't heard of anybody that did not find a job because of their skin color. If you didn't find a job, maybe it's because of other reasons. What's one thing that happened to you that made you regret from coming there? What's one thing that happened to you that made you regret from coming there? I don't know if I get this question, or made me regret coming here. I think it was during the COVID period. They first of all did not lock the borders when everybody were locking the borders, right? And then all of a sudden they just locked it with padlock and key and no going out. So I was so frustrated. I was just like, oh no, this Japan factor, this Japan factor. I think that was the only time. Are there lots of Nigerians over there? When you call lots, not lots, but I mean there's a handful of Nigerians here and there, and it also depends on the city. Are you dating a Japanese? You guys, but I'm not dating a Japanese. But yes, I see all of you that be shipping me in the comment section of most of my videos with Japanese guys. I see you people. I do video with the hairstylist that one, the person Yoshi that stretched my hair and that did me hair spa. You people be shipping me in the comment section, right? I do video with Shigma and Ryota, the mukbang where the Japanese guys tried my food. You people be shipping me in the comment section of the video. You people are not even consistent in your shipping. I see it all though. Don't feel like I'm not seeing it. The people want to touch your hair. When you're not my friend, like you don't know me, no. I said they are very respectful to your boundaries. When you've engaged the person and maybe my hair, I hardly even have my hair out. It's always in a protective style. Then the person can just be like, oh, can I touch it? That's my lab member. But I've never had a stranger. You don't know me from anywhere. You just walk up to me in the train station and the first thing on your mind is to touch my hair. I've never had it. Do Japanese girls like black men? Is it a popular thing in Japan to see this kind of couple? Yeah, so it's common. And to be honest with you, I've seen more of the women, the girls dating black men than black girls dating Japanese men. I'm trying so hard of recent not to make my videos so long. So thank you so much guys for sending in your questions. Tell me which of these answers you are shocked or you're happy about or whatever it is. Thank you all so much for your support. My returning subscribers, the new subscribers, those who are seeing this girl for the first time. I love you. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time on Chilo Talks.